I've had my problems with Candace Owens before, specifically with what happened and what she was doing in regards to the Steven Crowder divorce, but when she's right, she's right. And this take right here, it's interesting, right? Because there's multiple ways that you can approach this, and I've had my own opinions, and I've talked about this before. I think in banning anything, you just end up making it more alluring to the people that are generally siding on the more rebellious alignment. So, and of course, the people that are going to be a little bit more rebellious in nature are going to be more persuaded by certain vices. And of course, this type of video content wouldn't necessarily and intrinsically be a vice. It is a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. And I think that there are several other things that are weakening men. But yeah, of course, if you're spending your entire day, giving yourself a pubic workout, you better believe that's going to have downstream consequences. If you're spending more time staring at your cell phone instead of focusing on your work, you got issues. And of course, banning it, making it even more difficult to find, it's not going to really end up fixing the fact that the modern woman is kind of the bigger issue. Because why do men specifically fall down into a spiral of different hubs and tubes online? Is because it's instant gratification. And the alternative, the juice just simply isn't worth the squeeze. What is it? The average woman is 160 pounds. It depends on certain racial makeup, 180 in some demographics. It's like, if you're backed up, trying to say this as nicely as possible, if you're backed up, need to focus, and you just gotta, decorate Kleenex, okay, I understand, and you just need to go back to your work. That's one thing. But if you're going to get rid of this, are you also going to get rid of other vices? It's almost like there's a bigger issue at play. But then again, as much as Candace will talk about other things that are affecting society, she also is still a woman at the end of the day, and ever holding a woman accountable or not painting them in the most flattering light possible, well, that's never going to change. So, while men are the specific target of that type of online content, who's the general beneficiary, at least in the short term? Well, of course it's women, so why would society at large ever do anything to negatively affect women? Well, of course they aren't, and in fact, X and Twitter just made it very obvious what side they're taking when it comes to this. If you have noticed an increase in adult or unsuitable for work content on X, yeah, of course, whenever you scroll down on a specifically popular post, you are likely to be inundated with blank in bio. And pick your genitalia of choice in bio, okay? Every chick with an OnlyFans, Fansly, whatever the other alternatives that are out there. Another predominantly male-centric endeavor where they're, specifically making themselves weaker. But is it for that certain type of gratification that you can get for free in various different places? No, of course not. It's because of the general lack of appreciation, the general lack of connection that you have with modern women. Again, address the root cause of this stuff instead of just trying to put a band-aid on a gunshot wound. But again, another topic for another time. But no, you have those hoes making attention-seeking posts all over social media, and then the subtweet, the subpost, or the link in the comment section will just once again funnel you to wherever they're making the highest amount of revenue. This cycle will continue in perpetuity until those problems are solved. And now Twitter, well, hey, there's many people that think, oh, we just need to ban it. Oh, that'll make it easier. It's just not the way this stuff works. If you have noticed an increase in, content, there's a reason. As a social media platform recently tweeted, it's rules that allow for adult-themed content to be shared on Twitter. So yeah, we got a snippet of the post. We launched the content and violent content policies to bring more clarity to our rules, transparency, and to enforcement in those areas. These policies replace our former sensitive media and violent speech policies, but what we enforce against hasn't changed. And yeah, when it comes to mature or violent content, as a news curator, that's basically what I use Twitter for anyways. Like, I want to see, as much as I don't want to see, blown apart people from, certain war zones, like, I would be happy not seeing that. Having the access to that is necessary, especially when you specialize in news content. It's just, like I said, I could do without mid chicks shilling their body for $5 a month. Spotted first by TechCrunch, Twitter's guidelines have been updated to reflect a new policy that will allow users to share consensually produced and distributed nudity and behavior content. Fantastic. Under these new guidelines, users can share other adult-typed content, but it's not obvious places like profile pictures or banners, according to Twitter's content section on its guidelines page. Twitter advises those who will regularly post that type of content on its platform to adjust their media settings to allow content warnings to be placed on images. So yeah, basically the same thing as before. Adding this disclaimer will also help prevent minors or those who did not include a birth date on their profile for viewing the marked content. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Because this is coming ultimately, like this decision, and I'm sure Elon probably didn't make the call about this, but as somebody who's constantly complaining about declining birth rates, and as many people like Candace Owens and that ilk will just constantly point to, the obsession of and the addiction of online adult-themed content that's negatively impacting birth rates. No, it's those underlying issues that I'm talking about. The breakdown in relations between men and women. It has really little to do with the rest of that other stuff, because okay, cool, you also there's many studies on this. Who are the overwhelming consumers of that type of content? That would be frustrated married men. Yeah, how do you square that circle? All right, no, it's just those young guys that are being weakened. Right, it has nothing to do with the overbearing bait and switch wife that decided that, yeah, you know what, after I squeezed out a couple of kids, I can go ahead and strap on 40 to 80 additional pounds, that I can go ahead and replace bedroom enthusiasm with chore play. This is, of course, not taking anything away from the guys that switch it up, but let's be honest, okay, of the two people in the relationship, what is always the most common? Finding that you'll see post a marriage 5 years down the line, who's going to end up looking a hell of a lot worse than they came in? Yeah, exactly. We believe that users should be able to create, distribute, and consume material related to themes as long as it is consensually produced and distributed. Okay, Twitter's new guidelines on content reads, expression, whether visual or written, can be a legitimate form of artistic expression. Yeah, fantastic. We believe in the autonomy of adults to engage with and create content that reflects their own beliefs, desires, and experiences, including those related to their most carnal of pleasures. Embracing of not safe for work on its platform is a long time coming. Well, it's been out there for literally ever, for as long as the platform has been its platform, right? Like, you're only just a couple of clicks away from seeing just about anything that you want. And hidden under the guise of education, you can basically go see the same thing on YouTube. It's kind of gross, but it's right out there, man. In addition to a growing number of workers, yes, that began to congregate on Twitter. Yeah, after its relaunch of Twitter Blue, TechCrunch reported in March that Twitter was planning to allow NSFW communities to apply for the adult content label on its platform to prevent those communities from getting filled. Yeah, because if you're getting filled, we don't want other communities to get filled. The move is reminiscent of Tumblr, which was a once popular website where people to post adult content before banning the content in 2018. And well, Tumblr's still around, but yeah, they completely and totally cut it off. Twitter, on the other side, is just like, yeah, cool, we can make some money. We could be like just about every other platform, but not completely like every other platform, because who owns the hub? Oh, right, he's a rabbi. Anyways, in any case, not safe for work content on Twitter has come at a time as owner Elon Musk looks to find additional revenue streams to make X more profitable, as the platform has seen tons of advertisers leaving. It's kind of strange, because as many times as Elon is just going to birth rate post, he'll also talk about how Twitter has had its most profitable and most productive month yet. Yeah, man, when I'm on there news aggregating, all of the features, they tend to work fairly positively, and the changes that he's made and the business model that he's promoted, especially coming in and gutting like 85% of the workforce and then having the platform work better than before, has definitely been a boon for the overall big tech industry. It's just moves like this, it just kind of lets you know that trying to ban and censor things that you don't like, that's never going to be the way, because you're never going to get your way in that regards. There's certain things there are certain things that are ubiquitous with certain platforms, and adult content on the internet, yeah, that's something that's just good. It goes together like peanut butter and jelly. So it's almost like the solution is kind of something else to the weakening male problem of the West. And it's almost like we should probably focus on the other half of that equation. But that's not a conversation that most TradCons want to have. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.